Is anybody out there? It's a fitting name for Fear the Walking Dead because their viewership is dwindling and so is our interest. It is the mid-season finale for Season 5. It's Episode 8. It's time to dive into it. Can they get the plane to take off? Can our expectations take off? Can they, instead of being at rock bottom, can they take off?
Our expectations are grounded, just like this plane when it had no fuel. Our expectations cannot go off the runway. They cannot get into the air. This is a dead show. I don't think you can watch this show anymore and treat it seriously. For me, it's almost like a piss take. It's a comedy. It's almost like a parody of the original Walking Dead. And by Season 5, I actually think the original Walking Dead has went downhill big time. But when you compare it to this, I mean, it is night and day. This isn't a serious show. It's not. Honestly, the more I watch this, I think first 3 seasons felt like a sequel to the original Walking Dead. I think from Season 4 onwards, it feels more like a sequel to C Nation.
Tribute act.
To me, it's not just.
It's the filter as well.
The filter makes it look like a cheap budget fucking sci-fi movie, makes it look more like C Nation than The Walking Dead, and just the dialogue is non-existent. I mean, you're lucky if you get one good line a season. The characters, I mean, it's the same thing every episode. We need to help. We need to go on the walkie-talkie. Oh, we need fuel. Oh, we need to find this part. Oh, we don't know if we're going to make it in time. Oh, we need to divert these walkers. It's the same fucking shit. I mean, it's the exact same shit every single episode.
It is. No, the episode did begin with a flashback when they first ran into Logan via the radio. Then we cut to the future, and it turns out that Logan isn't even the leader of his own crew. There's some woman called Doris, apparently, and they're looking for something. We later find out that they're looking for...
Of course Logan wouldn't be the leader.
Of course not.
White man, not a chance.
White man, not a chance. White man, bad. But they're looking for that book. It's basically like a recipe to like prolong fuel or create new fuel, whatever. But I mean, honestly, this episode, man, was brutal. It was so bad. But yeah, I mean, Alicia, she gets the radiation off her. You've then got her, Grace, and Morgan trying to deal with this herd of walkers that is like, I mean, there's about 50 walkers, man. Alicia last episode literally fended off about 50 walkers. Why are we pretending that a group of like 25 people can't fend them off?
I know, ridiculous.
No, it is honestly ridiculous. And then, as the siren stops, the walker hits the car, and the 50 walkers that are in front of it, like half a mile down the road, hear it and turn back. The plot purposes in this show are ridiculous, man. Nothing feels natural. It just feels forced. It feels like each plot point to the next plot point, nothing comes naturally. And I hate when TV shows are like that. Things should feel organic. Do you know, in this show, man, it just feels like we're simply going, though, from one point to the next.
Aye.
Like, see once they locked themselves in that car, you knew that herd was going to be on top of them.
And it's just, as soon as the herd passes the car, all of a sudden, the siren stops. And then they've got the problem. Oh, they're not going any further. And then one walker is at the door. The walker starts growling. And then the rest of the walkers turn around. But it's like walkers are growling constantly. So, like, if walkers reacted to other walkers making noises, walkers would never walk in certain directions because they'd all just be constantly doing 180s to turn around and hear the noise behind them.
Yeah.
Yet, for some reason, this group that was quite far ahead decided to just totally do a 180 and follow this one walker that was making a little bit of noise, even though the entire group was making noise. It's far fucking fetched, man. It's hard to watch this show.
No, it is. It's for the brain dead. If you enjoy this, I don't know what I've got. I mean, honestly, what is honestly happening there? But Sarah, she goes to confront Logan. He's leaving the dam.
Imagine giving this show overall an 8 out of 10.
It's a fucking insult to 8 out of 10 shows.
Like, we both agree that this show went downhill after season 3.
Yep.
I couldn't give the first 3 seasons an 8 out of 10 if I tried. That would be a stretch. That would be a huge fucking stretch.
See with season 4, right? Season 4 was bad. It was awful, right? But I think there was redeeming things in it. it felt fresh, even though it was bad. Like, it did feel like a complete revamp. And I think in some lights you can say, well, you know what, at least it's something different. I think they introduced some decent characters. I do like John Dory. I thought Jimbo was pretty good. You know, on paper, you think bringing in Morgan is a good signing. The death of Madison should mean something. But then when you actually look at it, like the whole episode, like flash forwards, flashbacks, it was ridiculous. But even here, like this Sarah, the trucker, basically saying to Logan here, we stole your pal's stuff and I regret it, so how about you help us so you won't regret it later on?
He's like, no.
No, and then just drives off in his truck. All right. John and Dwight, they see a message for Sherry. The gasoline, how far do you think her car is, boy? I mean, John points out here that he thinks they're about 20 miles away. See, when he looks at the mushroom cloud that's appeared due to the radiation reactor, that's not 20 miles away, man. Anyone with a fucking brain can clearly see that's about 5.
I don't think you'd see it if it was 20 miles away, would you?
No, it depends. But the problem is, it's definitely not 20. It's way closer than 20 miles.
Yeah, I mean, even Joe. I mean, they find a car that works because it's got sweetie wrappers on the front, and then they get in the car, and then it can't even get them the distance they need to get back. It's just like one stupid obstacle at a time.
And how far away did these two go?
Yeah,
and then how big are these mountains that they need to obstacle? If Dwight and John can travel like 50 miles in one direction and still not get anywhere near these mountains, where the fuck are we?
And I believe that John then sees a message on a tree and he thinks it belongs to Sherry. And then they search for Sherry's car and that's how they get back, because they find Sherry's car.
Yeah.
Which didn't run out of gasoline, or the gasoline in her car didn't turn bad.
It was alright, guys. Right.
Yeah.
Then Daniel rocks up with some Christmas lights, and Wendell here just acting like a dick to Daniel. He's like, well, unless you got a football stadium light beam, you're no help to us, little beaner.
Unless you've got 2 working legs, you're no help to fucking me. And last time I checked, you don't. Alright, so then they light up first of all, so John, Dory, and Dwight, they get back to the chopper. They were going to leave them, but they see them coming, so they're slowing down the takeoff process. They get into the chopper. You see the walkers following. The walkers then like hang on to the chopper or the plane. The plane's trying to take off, but they shout from the front. Al shouts, "We need to lose the dead weight," and you've got about 3-4 walkers hanging on. And it's like, why not just fucking shoot them? Like, what were they doing? Like, purposely leaving them there just to try and create a cool action scene?
Are we led to believe that 3 walkers, and we've clearly seen that they're made of mush these days, is seriously weighing down this plane?
Morgan's got his stick. He could have just pushed them off.
Yeah, I know it's ridiculous. And then also his stick gets snapped off. Oh, that's the contaminated bit. What? Oh, that's the contaminated bit.
I actually thought someone was going to get bit here. I really did. Yeah, so she snaps his stick off because he obviously the part he was using, right, was covered in blood. And I get that, but I mean, look at Alicia's carrying around her weapon. I'm sure that's been used. Like, when you stab these walkers, blood's going to splatter. All their clothes will be covered in blood particles. Just ask Dexter, you know what I mean? Is she going to demand everybody gets fucking naked on the plane and tosses their clothes out?
I mean, it's fuck. You know what? See, as ridiculous as the episode's been, it's about to get fucking worse, right?
They're stamping on heads. That means all their boots need to come off.
John proposes to June with the sweetie wrapper, which, I mean, I
think it was Weller Originals. He eats it and then he wraps it into a wee ring and like, marry me.
This is probably the best part of the episode, but up next is the worst part of the episode because, right, it's night time. They've whipped out the lights. Wendell is sitting in his wheelchair. He spots a walker, right? And practically wheels over to it. I'm thinking, right, he's probably just going to wheel over, get a better shot. Right? He then turns around, starts reversing in the wheelchair, deploys the spike strip.
There's just so much wrong with that. First of all, you've got your back to the walker. The spike thing might not deploy, could get stuck. It's not guaranteed to impale the walker.
In the head?
Depending... Well, I don't think he aims for that. I mean, it's not really... And depending on where it impales the walker still might actually be able to lean over and bite you in the back.
Scratch you.
So it was like...
Yeah, but what was his end game? He impaled it, and then what was he trying to reach for? His gun?
I don't fucking know.
If he was reaching for the right side, didn't want to make noise. That's why he obviously wanted to use the spikes. But if he was going to reach for the gun anyway, then you may as well just shot it for a distance. This was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, then there's another walker coming from the opposite direction, and the walker trips over the lights and it unplugs the power. So the lights go out, and Al and Strand are trying to land the plane, and they're all panicking. We need the lights back on.
Did he shoot this other walker? I believe he did.
Yeah, he did.
So what was the problem here?
He then shoots it, and he got his friend. What's his friend called again?
Sarah.
It's on the radio saying what's happening, and Wendell's like, here, if I never see you again, I just want you to let you know this was better than the Marines. And
your beer tastes like shit.
Yeah, then we see him jump off his chair, and he starts crawling over with his dead legs across the runway to try and get to the the power plug before they land and crash, and it was fucking retarded.
No, it's just, yo, as I said earlier, right, I like shows where things feel organic and don't feel forced and feel like natural. This has to be the most forced thing I've ever seen. He had to create this awkward kill that required him unable to stop a walker from unplugging the lights to therefore make the landing dramatic. Yes or no? That's it. Yo, no, what could have happened here, right? A few walkers could have literally have just walked onto the runway as they were on the other side of the runway, and they were like, oh fuck, we have to get over there and plug that back in. But instead they had Wendell separated for those two and made them attempt a cool action scene kill just for the sake of it. Who turns their back to kill a walker? I don't give a fuck if he's got wheelchair spikes. Use your gun.
Nah, he wouldn't give you a back.
Why? It's not, why? Not only would you risk it for yourself, but he ran the risk of dying, and then also
see that spike thing with the wheelchair. That's like a last resort. That's like a secondary weapon or something.
Yeah.
That's not your go-to fucking thing.
No,
I mean it's just not.
It is absolutely ridiculous, man. It is brain dead upon belief. It is. Then they land, everyone's like, oh, brilliant. Then that Logan guy turns up, we're going to need to get the gas. You want to help people? Well, you can't help people because you need gas to help people, brother.
That's what this show's about, isn't it? Finding gas, finding parts, taking walkers away from certain locations. It is shit. It is really fucking shit.
No, it's really shit. And someone said that, like, every answer, there's no simple yeses or nos. It's like a character going on like a full rant. It fucking is. The character, there's nothing in this show. There's nothing, man. Morgan has ruined it. And see Dwight. Does Dwight feel like anything special to you? He just hides in the background.
He needs more screen time.
I mean, you've just got this big group of kids.
Well, and some of them need killed off. You know what, man? They could have had a lot of them die in this episode.
You could have. Honestly.
The only ones that have had any fucking dialogue is Annie and her two brothers.
Yeah. It's
like, at this point, what's the point of having the rest of them? Then you've already got Charlie, who's like a slightly older kid. I mean, this shows that the roster. We know Trev's Chan too, shout out to him, always liked to talk about rosters, and he believed that season 6 of The Walking Dead had the best roster of all time. Well, I can tell you this.
Of a TV show.
Right. I can tell you what, this roster fucking sucks that Fear the Walking Dead's got.
No, absolutely, man. It's just.
But even the people the so-called main event people on this roster, they're not at their best. Morgan, I think, is at his most unbearable.
Yeah.
Strand was better before he was gay and crying, Madison! You know, Strand was at his best in season 1, early season 2. Daniel, I don't think's his best. I preferred him early in the first few seasons again. Alicia, I don't know, I don't like this whole thing where she's going through at the moment where she believes she needs to make up for all the things that she's done. What's she really done that's that bad? Why is she punishing herself?
Yeah, and I said this.
Ophelia is like, to me, I think she was better in season 3.
It feels like if Morgan wasn't in this show, these people would just be surviving. Morgan has forced this bullshit.
No, wait, not Ophelia, Luciana.
Morgan has just forced this bullshit fucking story down the top.
Yeah, do you not think like Ophelia was a lot better than Luciana? I don't know if they didn't want two, like, I don't know, Latina women on the show, and you know what I mean, maybe they're too similar or whatnot, but
yes, it needed to further the beef between Strand and Daniel, that by the way isn't. Yo, see Daniel, right? He was a self-centered fucking cartel torturing bastard. Why is he now going to join these people, right? And help them? Does Daniel Salazar strike you as the kind of guy that wants to hang around with 20 kids and cut the white's hair? What are we doing here?
No. But yeah, I don't know. I just do not like. I like John Dory and that's it. Dory, like the fish.
I have said every review this season, each episode tops the last one in terms of something comical, and that fucking Wendell thing had me in hysterics. I couldn't believe what they were doing.
I don't think it'll be hard to top that in episode 9.
Oh, they'll try. You know, but it's just ridiculous stuff. Like, it's the same with John Dory. Why did he raise the axe to White? Like, why? Why not just fucking run over and attack them or shoot them at a closer range and then knife the other one? And then Wendell, it's just fucking ridiculous.
It's comical, like, but not in a fun. It's more in a, it's so bad kind of. And I think that's when you know a show's dead. See when the only enjoyment you get out of watching a show is how bad it is.
See Wendell,
that's when a show's gone, lost.
See Wendell, he could have literally. See when those two walkers appeared, he could have just wheeled away and made them follow him. So they got off the runway and couldn't avoid interrupt the. He nearly got everyone killed because he's dumb as fuck.
But also think another thing we need to notice or be not notice, but another thing that I think we need to take in consideration. I think we compare Fear the Walking Dead season 5 to The Walking Dead season 5.
When it should be more.
In reality, we should be comparing this to like Walking Dead season 9, season 10.
Yep.
Season 11, whatever. Because this came out 5 years after The Walking Dead. So when you think about it, it kind of makes sense because look how bad The Walking Dead gets. I think The Walking Dead after the Negan stuff is completely unwatchable. Yet people would say it gets better after the Negan stuff. But ratings would suggest it does not. Now, this would come out, I'm going to assume, is this between season 9 and 10 or between season 10 and 11?
I think it's between 10 and 11 because COVID comes out. Well, I said COVID comes out, you know what I mean? COVID happened. And then it pushed The Walking Dead back season. It might be between 9 and 10, actually. Anyway, it's in the later seasons of The Walking Dead. It's just ridiculous, man.
Yeah, but is it any coincidence that Fear was better when The Walking Dead was better? I don't think so.
But I'm rating this a 1 out of 10, man.
Do you think The Walking Dead gets better when you've got like a fucking beta and alpha walking about? And Rick's gone? And it's all these different community groups?
No, I think it's shit.
And you got that woman with the multicoloured hair and you got a dog called Dog?
Dog.
To me, there's definitely a you can make a comparison to The Walking Dead going completely shit and Fear the Walking Dead joining it.
Yeah, Fear shit. I'm giving it a 1. This is probably the worst mid-season finale I've ever watched.
You know what? I actually thought it was one of the better episodes I've seen in a while. I'm gonna give it a 3.
No, you know what?
I'm gonna give it a 3. I thought it was one of the better.
No, I can't forgive the Wendell thing.
Yeah, that was
just
like.
And no, but the constant. Let's help people. Why does no one challenge it? Why? Where is the beef in the group? Where's the animosity? Where's someone challenging Morgan? Like, here, listen, you got us killed.
We need to stop helping people. You dumb bastard.
But that's what you had in the original Walking Dead at the start. People beating each other.
Rick, it ain't like it was before.
But at least they acknowledge like dictatorship, like later on in Alexandria. See here, it's just like Alicia, you win. John, you win. June, you win.
But even early in The Walking Dead, Rick was smart enough to realise he couldn't just bring any outside. Even in season 1, I think he knew, like with those Mexican guys, whatever they were called, Fatos or whatever. I think he knew not to bring them back. Randall, he was very reluctant on bringing him back.
Yep.
And then obviously after season 2, he's kind of like, oh, fuck yourself. But like, look at this, man. We're fucking 10 years in and Morgan's wanting to bring anybody who asks for help on the radio.
Gotta help.
Morgan's been through a lot of shit. He's seen all out Warner. How does he know that he's not going for a fucking group like Negan or, a group like the Wolves? He's seen a lot of shit. And I know he wants to do what Eastman done and help people. But what, by putting the group in danger?
You know what? I'll give it a 2. John Dory said, "Woo," and then he also proposed with what do you call that?
Weller Originals. I think.
Yeah, it's a 2 out of 10.
See, I'm giving it a 3, so it's a 2.5 out of 10. But honestly, man, see, Morgan wants to help people. Just go off on your own.
Fuck it. Oh man, if he tried this at Alexandra, Rick would be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
I despise it, man. I just I'm not saying that the people in the group are bad people, but it just doesn't seem like their characters.
You can't have a
go out
group
of their way to help people.
No,
Like,
see, you can't have a group this naive and survive this long.
not like I'm not saying that if you come across somebody that needs help, then help them. But it just seems like the sole reason for this group to live and their sole purpose and goal and aim in life is to literally just go on a radio every episode and. Do you need any help? Is there anybody else there?
No, but seeing season... That's the name of this episode. I think in season 4, it kind of made sense because they found all that guy's stuff and it was that guy's like dying message. And it was like, right, you know what? If they want to do that, then fair enough. And then that woman, Martha, used it against them. I think that's fair enough, right? But see, going into season 5, and you'll see the second half of the season, it looks like the exact same shit. When is a line going to get dropped and it's going to be, let's stop helping people and let's actually start doing stuff? Ridiculous. Anyway, 2.5 out of 10.
Wonder what Trevor's gave it.
I don't know what he gave it.
Anyway, we'll talk about that maybe. It's the end of season 5.
Oh yeah, till next time. Peace.